Trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter, and from our studios in Las Vegas, Nevada, Mr. David Williams. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 23rd day of 2nd day of July, 2013. And this is the broadcast that almost wasn't. True story. Here we are. Thanks to the good folks at GoTo. Boy, I called them, and I got a hold of somebody in the back office, and I said, hey, look, it's time for the CFRN radio show. I need you guys to pull this thing together. And they were like, you know, we were going to get to it this afternoon. I was like, no. Seriously, I need you to pull it together now. And so, here we are. How about that? Dow's up 36 points. S&P is up 6. Comp is up 10. Gold, down again. No big surprise there, $10.40. Crude up 85 cents a barrel. So, for those of you, I don't have to tell you, well, actually, if you're listening to the podcast after the fact or watching the video cast after the fact, you don't know, but those who are here live in real time today know we've had some real difficulties with our conferencing software, but man, it's working fine now. So we're going to move ahead. We're not going to drag our feet. We've got to cover a lot of ground. We've got to do it quickly. Chart up there is the S&P 500 E-mini futures. We'll talk about that in a second. Welcome to the show. If you can only hear the sound of my voice and you can't see the charts, go to the home page at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side, click the great big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered for the entire month. Yes, that is correct. You'll be able to hear my voice, see the charts, and participate in the discussion. We really like it when you participate in the discussion, so please type your comments or questions into the chat box. Moving on, we're going to go to our good word for the day, which comes from James 4:3. And it says, when you ask, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives. Topic here is, are you disappointed in your prayer results? How do you handle it when you are disappointed with the results of your prayer? Hasn't everyone had some puzzling or disappointing outcomes, even with the most fervent and faith-filled prayers? Sometimes we think we have to slide those little disappointments under the rug and just not talk about them. We don't want to admit that we possibly believe that maybe God doesn't have all the answers. Now, we're not saying that God doesn't have all the answers, but I know what you think because I think it, and because we're all human. See, we, meaning people, sometimes we don't want to admit that we don't believe God has all the answers when, unfortunately, that's exactly what most of us do believe from time to time. Quite the conundrum. Stay with me. The truth is, God is always faithful, and His Word is 100% accurate every single time. Psalm 33:4 reminds us, for the word of the Lord is upright, and all His work is done in faithfulness. We, therefore, are all the more dumbfounded in those times when our experience does not seem to match the truth. Now, you'll find a little argument from people about the importance of prayer. Most people pray. Everyone needs it. But the reality is, prayer is often disappointing to us. We don't get the results we're after. Now, let me share with you why. It's found in the Bible, in the book of James, as quoted above. When you ask, you do not receive, because you ask with wrong motives. Prayer is not so much about asking God for what we want. It's really more about discovering what He wants and finding the strength to do that. Selfish prayers will always disappoint. Prayers to get to know God, to find strength, and to do His will bring tremendous results, sometimes even supernatural results. This kind of praying is very powerful because you get plugged into the ultimate power source, the God of the universe. So how's your prayer life? Is it fulfilling or disappointing? Remember, friend, to check your motives, for your heart is the key. Why don't you take a moment right now, talk with God, just for the purpose of seeking His will, nothing else, and I promise you, you will be pleased with the results. And that's our good word for the day. Off to the charts, S&P 500 E-mini futures up on the big screen. That's the hourly chart. And Michael, can I send this chat over to you?
Sure, send it over.
I'm clicking, but the charts are not coming up for me to see. Have fun with that one.
Send it over.
Yeah, have fun with that one. I don't know where to even start there. Scott, Michael's going to take your chat and get you all squared away, buddy. All right, we're going to go through this quickly because I know Michael's got things to do. We want to get the recap done. We had a great day in the live trading room. Yesterday was a realistic day. We got gut checked, all right? Get our 2 points, second time this year. Today, we showed up, did the same thing. We didn't hire a new guru. We didn't go get no new indicators. We didn't sign up for a new chat room. We just showed back up, did the same old silly thing over and over again, and guess what? Like falling off a log, we got our points. Lesson learned, all right? So, up here on the big screen, yesterday we said, hey, you might want to consider getting long around 1605, okay? Okay, got another incoming chat here. I'm going to transfer that one to you also.
Okay.
Why do they all hit me first? Why is that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, so
Yeah.
we said consider, no, it's good. I got it. It said,
Okay.
we said, consider getting along about 1605. Price dipped back to 1605 and a half. Some of you might have climbed aboard, maybe you didn't. Okay, the area was pretty well outlined if you look right across here. This thing took off. It got up to 1614. Now, last night, as this candle was building right here, I got on the tweeter, and I said, guys, consider taking profits. We're here at a really important area. Okay. I'll spill it. We're at a really important area. And so you really might want to consider taking your profits here. And as I sat there and watched this thing, I got more concerned. And I retweeted, come on, seriously. Please consider taking your profits here. And I think most people did. What happened? And I said, now watch us and see if we can go back to 05, catch support again. And look what happened. This thing went from 1614 up at our weekly trading zone, 1415. I sent out the tweet, please get flat. Came back, nabbed support right here at 1605. And took off again. Now this all happened in 1 hour this morning. Okay? Now my charts are Globex charts. So this candle might be broken up over 2 candles if you're using day session charts. But I'm on a 24-hour Globex. So this candle for me represents 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. just so you don't get confused. Price hit the weekly zone at 14.15, did a little consolidation. Okay, then we broke through and we got a new high up at 1850. We had another tweet that said once we break through the zone, if we can hold it on a pullback, consider being long above 1617. Now, so far, that only ran a 1.5 to 18.5. We're coming back and we're consolidating here at the zone, so we need to wait and see what's going to actually happen. If we get on the south side of this 14, then if we look left, there's really nothing to prevent us from going right back to this 05 support. Now, this 05 was really important last week. We traded that thing and traded that thing. Traded it all through here. Sunday night Globex. Monday morning we picked it up. And here we are Tuesday. Let me put a day marker here. There we go. That in the right spot. There we go. That's the right spot? Yeah. Nope. Yeah, it was. There we go. Is that midnight? That's midnight. Okay. All right. So here we sit at the zone. Now, overhead, we got a weekly zone, but we got a couple things we need to watch out for on this trade on the long side. If the market's going to continue higher, the market just put an obstacle in its own path right here. Right there. We have the high from yesterday, which is 1621. Actually, the swing high was 20.5. Okay. So that's an obstacle. And then we have a weekly trading zone overhead. We break out back above 17 again. That's what we'll be looking for on our end, is we'll be looking for a move up to that weekly trading zone. Now, what happens here at the zone during this period of consolidation, we haven't truly broken out. I mean, we got up above, we got all the way to 18.5. We got this interference here, so let's watch it. Yesterday, the tweet was to consider being long above 04. We went from 04 to 09. We encourage you to take profit at 09, wait for 04, get long again, took us back to 09. Then we did this break higher, came back, tested this 05 area, back to 14, back to 05, back to 14. Man, these are the good old days. I got to tell you, they really are. I hope you're plugged in and taking advantage of this, because it's not always quite this sweet. All right, Michael, I'm not going to do any headlines. I'm just going to pass the baton to you and ask you to do what you do oh so well this time every day, and that's the recap.
Okay.
Got something to recap today. You ready? You need to pass those chats back to me?
Sure, I'm going to transfer you back. There's only one left right now. I'm going to
All right.
transfer it back to you. Click and transfer, and here we go. Okay. Send that one back.
Okay, got it.
All right. Yeah, we got a late start today. There you go, guys. You should be seeing my charts right now.
Got them. I'm going to go on mute.
Good.
All right.
Okay. All right. Got it. No, Frank. It was a couple hundred. I got hit by beans. I got hit by the soybeans right here. We said they were going to get down to this level. They almost got down there. It's just taken forever to do it. All right. I am going to start recording. I have to sneeze. See if I can hold it off. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is the 2nd day of July, 2013. It is Tuesday, the 2nd day of July, 2013. Let's go over the results on the live trading room this morning. On the Russell, we were plus 9. On crude oil, we were plus 8. On gold, we were plus 20. On copper, we were plus 2. And on soybeans, we were minus 15. It took us 20 minutes and 3 trades to reach $110 per contract. This morning, here is our spreadsheet. This was yesterday, a red day. Dun, dun, dun. But we came back. We're back up above 0 on the month. Soybeans killed us so far, though. Minus $288 on soybeans. How does that work? 12.5 times 23. 12.5 times 23. 287.5. It rounded it. That's weird. Yeah, I guess it did. No, 287. Okay, it rounded it because it was small. All right, 287.5. I knew that just wasn't mathematically possible without rounding. 287.5 on the soybeans is what we are on the month. Plus 60 there, plus 20 there, plus 330 there, and plus 145 total. 147.5 total over here. That's not right. No, that's right. 147.5 is our total on the month, plus 25 on the copper is total for this column. Okay. Whew. All right, so last month we were plus 5,220 at the end of the 20 days. This month so far we're plus 147.50. This morning it took us 20 minutes and 3 trades to reach our $110 a contract. We placed a total of 13 trades this morning. Okay. That is where we ended the morning session. Okay, so we got our 2 points early, and we kept going. Now, let's do the trades. Now, we're running a little bit late here because we had that problem with the software, the GoToWebinar software. So, or it was more of a network problem on their end, I think. So I'll just jump right into it. This is crude oil. On crude, we are plus 8 ticks. Okay, so you can see here we had a bullish cross. We had outlined down here that it looks like it was bottoming. There was some bottoming action, and it did in fact bottom right there. And the reason we knew it was bottoming was because the cycle had made it all the way, the green line made it all the way into the cycle without putting in a lower swing over here, right? Bottoming action. It moved up. There was an opportunity over here. We got long right up here, and we ended up taking a break even. I probably should have taken more than a break even on that, but I didn't. It must have moved really fast. The next opportunity was up here. We didn't get into that one. Okay. Yeah. We didn't get into this one over here. Okay, and we highlighted here that it looked like it had topping action in there, and it did top for a little while. The next trade was right over here, a shorting opportunity off the BBC. You see we had bearish divergence with red on the cycle. Down close off the BBC. We got short. We took some profit. All right. I was looking for an opportunity in here, but I didn't get any. Okay. There was another one over here. We missed a short right in here that we took. We took this short, and we just took a little bit of profit on it. What did we take? 3 ticks on that, I think. We didn't follow up any of the other trades. I was doing a lot of talking and training and stuff in the live trading room. That's why all these lines are drawn all over the place. But anyway, there were some more opportunities in here. And over here, long trade, we didn't take that. I didn't get into it. It moved really fast, if I remember right, and then came back. So that was it. That was all that we did. Not a lot happening on crude oil this morning. Okay. Let's jump over here to the Russell. That's the next one. Here's your copper. Take a good look. There it goes. All right. Burn that into memory, Frank. The Russell. Okay, we got a couple of trades on the Russell this morning. Our first trade was right in here. We ended up taking 1 tick profit on this. Okay, we tested the BBC. We got an up close, bullish divergence, blue cycle, bullish cross, pull away, all that sort of stuff. We missed this opportunity. There was one back here that we missed right back here. Same thing. You had bullish divergence with a blue cycle, bullish cross, tested the BBC, up close, and it did it again right over here. We got into this one. We ended up taking 1 tick profit on that trade. We missed this over here, and we missed this over here. Okay. This one would have probably been profitable had we gotten into it. Yeah, that would have been profitable had we gotten into it. And this one over here would have been a break even had we gotten into it. We ended up highlighting an area here that was topping, and it was indeed topping. We said it was topping up here anyway. There was a shorting opportunity here and over here that we missed. Okay, a long opportunity here that we missed, and a long opportunity here that we didn't miss. We took some profit on this. I think we took 8 ticks profit on that trade. That put us at +9 on the Russell, and I believe that's where we ended the day. Yes, indeed it is. Let's see, in here, there was a long opportunity right in here that would have lost had you entered it. It would have stopped you out. We drew in this area right here, saying we needed to close above that. We didn't close above it until way over here, okay? Way over here. There was an up close right here that you could have gotten long on. I wouldn't have liked the trade, but it did happen. It worked out. If you did do it, it worked out. Okay. In here, there's some choppy action, and this was all during the break. Also during the break, there was some movement, some pretty good movement down right here. Now I know there's a weekly trading zone on the ES somewhere around here, so that would have made us be cautious about it. Yeah, there's the weekly trading zone on the ES. Cautious about the shorts over there. Let's see, on the gold, we took a few trades on gold this morning. I don't know what happened here. I don't know what happened, but we didn't get an opportunity to trade that. Let's see, where do we end on gold? We're at +20 on gold. All right, we missed this little move down right here. And this little move up. We did take this move up right here. That is where we got our 2 points on the morning, right there. Okay, we got 10 ticks profit on that trade. There was more in it, but we ended up taking just 10. Right, we drew this up here, said it looks like it was topping right there because the green line got into the cycle and we hadn't put in a higher swing. Price moved down. We missed a short here. We missed a short here. We missed a short here. We missed all those shorts. Okay. We got a long over here. There was no opportunity to get into this. We didn't miss anything. We just didn't get into it. There was a short over here, and we showed a little bottoming action in here. Then it got in, it was a little back and forth because right up here there was topping action. Okay, we didn't put in a higher swing, we didn't put in a lower swing. So waiting for that to happen, there was an opportunity right here. Okay, again, no lower swing, but the setup did come along. Bullish cross, there was an opportunity here to get long, an opportunity over here to get long. We had said we needed to get up above this level, and we finally did. Okay, it took us a while to close up above that level. We didn't like this first pullback here because we didn't like the way the divergence was down here. But we did like this one, and we took it. And we took some more profit on that trade. I think on the gold we had 10 ticks, 4 ticks, and 6 ticks were our total wins on the gold. That was pretty much it on the gold. There was a trade over here. If you had taken it, you would have stopped out on that. We didn't take it. There was some more trades in here during the break. More trades in here on the short side, one in here on the long side, a few of them here on the short side, a few of them here on the short side, and there's another one setting up right now on the short side. Okay, so there was plenty of opportunity there on the gold this morning to make money. We made our 2 points on the gold all by itself this morning. Soybeans was our thorn today. We went, what did we do? We went short the soybeans over here, and we stopped out. And we went short the soybeans over here, and it stopped out. The first one stopped us out to the tick. The second one went through our stop a little bit, 3 or 4 ticks through our stop, and then it ended up going in the direction we expected it to go. I do anticipate that the soybeans are going to get down here to this blue line. That was there from yesterday. Yesterday I had drawn in this line during the live trading room yesterday, and I said expect price to get down to this level. It took it a very long time, but it did eventually get down to that level. I even drew a horizontal blue line on there. It did eventually get down to that level. Okay, it took it a very long time. In the overnight session, there were some opportunities here on the beans on the long side right here to take pretty much most of that move out. Then it flattened right out. We got into the day session today, and it flattened out again. It is approaching this level again. When it gets there, who knows? All right, that was the soybeans. I didn't really look at the NQ today. we did take a trade on copper. I have to show that. We took a long trade on copper over here. Okay, we got long in here, and we took a couple of ticks profit in there. There were more opportunities on copper. I just didn't take them. Okay, I just didn't get filled. I didn't see them when they were happening. But there were more opportunities there on the copper. On the ES, we highlighted one trade in here on the ES, this up close right here. All right, going up into the weekly trading zone. That was the one that we highlighted. There was one short, but this was pre-market. But once the markets opened up, there was just this long trade here. Okay, that was it, guys. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to www.cfrn.net/apply. Sign up for the free trial. In the free trial, you get 5 days in our live trading room. You get 5 days access to all the indicators and charts that you see here. Okay. When you sign up for the free trial, you'll be sent an email that's got a video link in it. You got to watch that video. It shows you how to download everything. All right. When you get to the part about installing the layout, if you want my layout, just send us an email at support@cfrn.net. Just say, please send me your layout, and I will send you my layout. And you just need to follow the instructions to import the layout. Okay, you have to download the layout from the file, the layout file that I send to you. You have to put it on your desktop or somewhere where you can find it. When you download it, then you have to import your layout. Okay, there's instructions inside the video that tell you exactly what to do, how to do that. All right, follow those instructions, import the layout, then go to the indicator store. Inside the indicator store, this is how you get there. I right-clicked on the chart, went to indicators, come all the way down at the bottom right here. It says indicator store. That's going to bring this little window up. Inside the indicator store, there's this thing right here, CFRN indicator set. Just right-click on it and click install. Left-click on install. All right. Once you've installed those, then you will be you'll be all set. You just need to log off and log back on your DT Pro, and you'll have all your indicators. Okay, you'll have all the CFRN indicators available to you. They'll be in a little thing up here called CFRN. All right, just like that. The only ones we really use are the top one, the CFRN, CF Flow PB, CF Slingshot. We use other ones. We use the WTZ. And depending what you want to do, you can use everything that you want in the toolbox. But in the live trading room, we've narrowed it down to just a few. Okay. Again, go to www.cfrn.net/apply. Sign up for the free trial. If you are on the free trial, you will be getting something in your email, probably within the next hour or so. Okay, telling you what it takes to become a partner. Now, I want to recommend, if you are on the free trial, you should try to become a partner before the long weekend. Because, if you're interested and you're on the free trial and you want to become a partner, you should try to do it before the long weekend, because then you'll have the whole weekend to go over stuff in the members area. The members area has 300 hours of videos. You'll have the whole weekend to start going over some of that stuff. You don't need to watch all 300 hours, though some people do suggest you do that. I would say we'll give you a couple that you should watch. Like the last one, the latest one, I think it was 117. Watch that one. Watch all 300 of them, 300 hours in one day. That's it. It'll take you a year to watch all 300 hours. But you get all that stuff, okay? And you get it all for 3 months. You get a lifetime license to the indicators, all that stuff when you become a partner. And we'll get you all set up so you can start fresh a week from yesterday. All right. That's it, guys. I am going to wrap up the recording here, and we're going to head out to Vegas. That's it, Dwayne. I'm ready to go to Vegas. Recording is over. Dwayne. I know he's there.
Yeah, no, I'm here. But I got to send.
There he is.
I got to send David a link because GoTo is down. He didn't get his link today like he normally does.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He probably doesn't know that the link from yesterday will work.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
All right. Well, then I will just, you know what? I'll tap dance.
Well, I thought I was going to... What in the world happened? Let me try that again.
Hear that? That's tap dancing.
Try it again. Here we go. Trying it again. This is me. Trying it again.
There. All right. I'm done tap dancing. You didn't hear my tap dancing?
Oh, yeah. That was awesome, dude. Should take that show on the road. Hey, I made me some coffee, and I want to go get that cup of coffee that I just made, but I need you to talk to this man, David.
All right.
But I just sent him the link. So you and I will chat until he gets here, and then if you'll talk to him for just like 2 minutes, I can run get that cup of Joe. And then I'll hang out with him for... Yesterday, guys, we did 3 hours and 40 minutes of radio in a 2-hour show. It's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that again today. I threw my back out, I'm pretty sure. So that's heavy lifting. No. If you guys have questions, I'll stick around and do the after show for a little bit. But I probably won't stay quite that long. Got somebody here in the chat box. Just want to know if and when Michael can be available for a quick team viewer session.
That must be Bernard.
That is. Shall I send him your way?
Yeah, I'll call him. Yeah.
Oh, no, he's on your desktop right now.
No, he is coming over. Okay. All right, I got him.
All right, guys, we'll go back. Let me just grab the charts back since I'm... Oh, wait, but you're going to... Hey, David. Oh, you know what? Because I had to send David the pedestrian link. He won't show up where he normally shows up. He'll come in to the... let me see if he's there yet. Nope. He's not really good with email. I better send him a text and tell him I sent him an email.
Okay. He's not really good with email. That's
He's not.
Somebody else. Somebody else does that.
Yeah, I was sending this guy emails like forever. These long, drawn-out emails, you know, and I was pretty offended that he never bothered to answer. So one day I asked him about it, and he goes, oh yeah, I don't ever check that thing. It was some address he had given me. I don't know. He goes, oh, that? Oh, yeah, I don't ever check that. Well, go check it someday because my guts are over there. They're all out on the floor, man. I just was like pouring it out.
Just dumped it all out over there.
Yep.
Wondering why you never heard back.
Right.
Clark, are you listening right now? I tried to call you last night. I tried to talk to you this morning. But you weren't there either time.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? We're waiting on David to show up, guys, so that we can make this transition that we normally do where David and I start shooting a breeze about stuff. But he's having trouble getting logged in, just as all of you had trouble getting logged in today. Which is why our audience is about half the size it normally is, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think so.
People have no stick-to-itiveness, man. They give up. They try like 30 times and then give up.
Yeah, we had multiples of this number of people in the live trading room this morning.
Yeah. What's up? All right. No, I understand. It's a little. Yes. How do I get to the archives? Okay. Which archives are you referring to? Are you talking about the blog, Hamilton? Are you talking about the podcast archives? Is that what you're referring to? The daily radio archives? Yeah, okay, that would be the podcast. Just go to CFRN.net. On the upper right-hand, up on the navigation tab, it'll say Emini Radio Blog. Click that. That'll take you to an index page, and that's every radio show for the last couple of years. You can also get them on iTunes. You can subscribe to us via iTunes. You can find them there. I think I'm going to start posting them on the Facebook page as well. We got to build that up over there, guys. Come on, I need some help.
Yeah, I know. I left everybody hanging with my last night.
It's kind of a little shameful over there on Facebook, you know. Oh, they're beating the wind. This poor guy, he's got like 24 friends. 120 people liked him, but at the end of the day, he's still only got like 24 friends. Really? There's thousands of you guys out there around the world, but, you know, you couldn't tell it from our Facebook page. So please get busy. Get clicking, would you? All right, you're welcome, Hamilton. Our pleasure. We're just goofing around right now, killing time. Hey, David, where are you, man? Oh, I better look back in the audience again because he can't.
Yeah, I'm looking in it. I don't see him. I don't see him.
I told you he's not very good with that email thing.
Nope. Nope. We may not have David. We may just have to.
Let me check my text. Okay, so let's talk. We'll keep an eye out for David. See when he shows up.
Keep an eye out for David.
Dwayne, might be a good idea to send a tweet when your system is down. That's a good idea, Lewis. Except I figured when you tried to log in, you'd get that big old message that said the system is down. I don't know. That's what I was thinking. But yeah. You're right. I could send out a tweet. That would be a good early warning system.
And right above that, there's a message that says, "Hi guys, having troubles getting tweets."
Yeah, one guy says I can't get the tweets. The other guy says maybe you should tweet. Okay, now Brian, when you say you're having trouble getting the tweets, tell me, tell me what the problem is. Why you aren't getting the tweets? Because they're on the Twitter page. Let me crack open a fresh browser here. Let me grab the screens.
Okay.
Does anybody else need help with need a little Twitter tutorial? You got them for a while, then they stopped. Okay, now tell me. Okay, David just said thanks. Bert didn't get one either. All right, well, I'll send Bert one too.
Bert's in here.
Hey, Bert.
But Bert's here. I just made him an organizer.
Okay, guys, I'm going to show you twitter.com/CFRN. Okay? Boom. So there's the page. So all the tweets are here. There's a couple years, the entire timeline, plus all my Vine videos. Hey, dude, did you download Vine yet?
No.
No. You got to get the free app, Vine, and then have some fun making videos. It's 6 seconds, and it's sort of a little bit of an art form how you work your thumb and what you do creatively. I haven't got the hang of it yet, but I'm having fun trying. So, okay. So Brian, you say you were getting the tweets for a while. Now they show up on the Twitter page every day. So how were you getting them? Were you getting them via a Twitter app? Were you getting them via text message? Tell me how you were getting them. Okay, Hamilton, and let me answer you. You were getting them at text and on the site. Okay. I haven't done anything differently, so if you were getting them via text message, then I would just go back to your Twitter account and check the settings and make sure that your Twitter account is still linked to your cell phone, because I don't control that part of it. See, I just send out the tweet, and then what happens is Twitter, because you've authorized your phone to Twitter, they will send you out the tweets of people that you select. Okay, and so if you selected us, and so maybe something got unchecked, that's possible. Now, Hamilton, let me show you the answer to your question. Hamilton said, is there a certain day affiliated with a certain radio show? There is, except, honestly, I kind of messed that up. I did it the same way forever. and then I didn't because I was trying to be SEO clever. Okay, this one here, the last one, I dropped the naming convention that I've always used, and so see, I used Emini, and I can see why that's now confusing for you. Let me go back to, I'll tell you what, I'll start doing it the way I used to do it. Let me scroll down. A lot of charts on this thing. See right here, Emini podcast for Wednesday, 6/19. So the next podcast is going to be 6/20, and then the one after that's going to be 21, 22, and this is how for years I've named them like this with the date. But then there's a couple that I actually named with the blog content post, like here. I'll stop doing that. I'll go back to putting the date on them so it's not confusing for you. But there's a lot of years of podcasts out there. You could stay busy a while. Now let me go back to the question about, okay, Brian, you're checking your settings on the tweets. Yeah, guys, I really hope you do get the tweets because, well, I don't know. They just, again, the markets have been very kind. Okay, I haven't suddenly gotten especially talented or anything. It's just that the markets have been following through quite nicely. So, I mean, I don't want to take credit where credit's not due, other than I do stay up late and I do work hard, but sometimes the markets really seem to cooperate, you know, and sometimes they just seem kind of contrary, and we seem to be going through a spell where they are very cooperative right now. Oh, Hamilton, you are so kind. You really are a gentleman. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Any sign of Mr. Williams yet?
Not yet. Not yet. Let me go check one more time.
I'm out there. I'm checking. All right. All right. I got the screen. So let's go back over last night. Let's take a look at last night's tweet. Okay. Last night I said, the last swing took us down to 1605.5. The tweet was to be long above 1606. We're now at 1612. So I sent this out last night when we had gotten right here. We were right there at 1612. I said, consider taking some or all profits. And then once we hit the zone at 14, I came back on, and we've hit the resistance area at 1614/15. If by chance you're still long, one last little suggestion was to get flat. At the very least, tighten your stops. If the market continues higher, we've already outlined our next entry in the previous tweet. And so the next entry was for price to get above the zone at 14.15. Okay, pull back, find support at the zone, and then break out above 17. We had a breakout earlier. It took us to 18.5. That's only a 1.5. A 1.5, that's almost our complete daily goal, but still, we're used to seeing a little more than that on the tweets. Like Monday morning, Sunday night, Monday morning, we went from 04 to 09. We had 5 points up, 5 points back down, 5 points back up. And then we did the breakout here, up above the zone. Came back to the 06 area, back to the 14, back to the 05, 06 area, and then back to the 14. So this kind of, you know, this is the weakest tweet we've had in a while. And so it may be, remember yesterday I said this could be the high of the week. That's why I've left this little circle. I was concerned yesterday that price could not get up another 3 points. I'll just go ahead and spill it. We got a zone up here at 24.25. The fact that the market couldn't get there yesterday, and now appears to be struggling again today. And because of the holiday, we probably don't have a lot in the way of news this week. We certainly didn't have much in the way of news today. Again, the markets will be closed Thursday, guys, 4th of July. For those of you outside of the U.S., we're taking the holiday. Markets are closed. We'll be back Friday. I don't know how active it will be Friday, but we are going to open the live trading room, and we are going to open the radio show. So, price sitting inside of the weekly trading zone at 14.15. Just hanging out. I'll go ahead and add a couple of headlines. If you'll watch for David, let me see what kind of headlines I got here.
I got
Any
mine.
other questions? All right, if you guys have any other questions, go ahead. Now's a good time.
David's here. David's here.
Yay!
He snuck in the back door.
Can you enable him?
He's ready. He came in the other way. It's
Oh, okay.
staff. Yep.
All right. Oh, I see. He's holding out for his little intro song. I got it. Okay.
That's it. Yes. He's not going to say a word until the intro
Lordy,
comes.
lordy, lordy. Where's my little secret agent man? Sound file. I can't find it right now. All right, guys. We'll be right back with David from PageTrader.com. Sit tight.
You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310.
Thank the Lord for love like ours that grows ever stronger. And I always will be true. I know you feel that same way too.
Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Dwayne.
Hey, good morning, David. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be
It's
here. Good
been
morning,
a bumpy ride today. Wow.
I think GoToMeeting has had some issues, and that's expected when you have all that hardware and equipment and internet and all that stuff.
Well, you know, we first saw a crack in the veneer last Thursday night during the partners meeting. We had an issue. They've been just really, as far as software as a service kind of a thing goes, they've just been rock solid. They really
They have been.
And they took, well, WebEx was the big kid on the block, and GoTo just came in and just snatched the carpet out from under them. They did it better, and in my opinion, they did it better, and they did it at a much better price. And that other software, which we won't even mention the name of, Lord, they should just put that thing to rest. You know the one I'm talking about. Yeah, you use it from time to time.
Okay, yes, oh, that thing is, oh my goodness. Yeah, what that thing just has the, burnt orange glow that just screams 80s technology. Obsolete 80s technology. So, yeah, it certainly does.
Hey, David, I'm going to fill up my coffee cup. Michael's going to chat you up for a minute, and I'll be back in 2 minutes.
That's great.
I am
Well,
going
good
to
morning.
entertain David. Good morning. Good morning.
Please, I'm just ready for entertainment.
All right. Well,
If the markets aren't entertaining enough, then, maybe you've got something a little better.
yeah. Well, the markets are a little. They're okay. I mean, we did well today, but they were. They got into a period where things just started to go sideways.
You know what? It's summertime, and we should, under normal conditions, we would expect summertime to be slow, quiet. And for a lot of people, a lot of traders, they take more time off during the summer because it is slower. They're not going to miss a lot of movement. Once, you're going to miss something, but the summertime normally is. I thought it was unusual, and I still do think it's interesting and unusual that the markets were able to get so volatile leading into the summer. Summer officially starts on June 21st or 2nd, and now we're inching in on July 4th, so we're in the summer now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some slower movement come. I would prefer to see the active, big moves, but I think for the most part we've done it's been very good for the last particularly month.
I'm more than happy with the volatility that we've had. And I think we're kind of spoiled because people, people don't. Anyway, new people that haven't been here for 5 or 8 years or 10 years, they don't remember the days where we just had a 6-point range in the ES for the whole day.
Right.
Or there was even a period last year, the year before last year, there were 2 to 3 months at the beginning of the year where there was several days in a row where we would have a 2-point range or a 3-point range for hours.
Oh, I remember a period of time. There were actually several months where it was just like, if this is how the market's going to be from now on, we need to be trading a different market because this is not doable. There's not enough action and so on. So it really does. And the markets go through these phases where, in the same way that, think back to the 40s when music was beautiful, non-political, it was romantic, it was the beautiful songs that were written back then, the kind of music then. Well, music is like the markets. We've gone through all these different changes. We still have not seen the 40s, beautiful type of music again. Well, it's like that with the markets. You go through these periods that you may not see for a long, long time. And I think that's the case with the markets that we had in the 90s. And in the 90s, the S&P 500 was king. This market moved, jumped, gapped open, spit, turned. It just flipped. It did everything it could to keep people fascinated by it. And as we got into the 2000s, after 2001 with the 9/11, after the big move from there, slowly we started seeing less volatility in the market. And, that brings us up to then 2007, 2008, where it was very, very slow. But we have seen some better volatility recently. I think many people that haven't been in the market for more than 10 years don't really have the history and the feeling for what it was like in the early and even late 90s. This thing was just moving. They just ran this thing every which way. Beautiful volatility. A lot of systems were designed in the 90s to take advantage of that volatility, and unfortunately many different systems that were developed may not still be around because that kind of movement isn't here now, and those systems don't act as well or well at all under the current, up until 4 weeks ago, the current lower volatility that we've seen. So anyway, but that doesn't stop us from trading other markets, having wonderful trades and other setups, and there always is something to trade. If you will keep yourself organized, keep a diary of what you're doing and what you're thinking about a particular trade. I like the idea, by the way, and we don't talk about it much, but I like the idea of diaries, writing down what you're doing in the market, what your reasoning is, and stuff like that. You don't have to do it in advance of the trade, but once the trade is on, it's a good idea to have a little note screen and put together your ideas on that trade. In a way, by writing things down, it changes your own perspective. It's not the same as thinking. Writing something down puts something in front of you, as opposed to it not being in front of you. It's actually inside your brain. When you write it down, you see it, and seeing it is different than thinking it. Believe me, it really is different. Many of you know that already. Writing something down will give you a different perspective on your own thoughts than thinking them will. And so when you write down a trading idea or your trade setup for this particular trade, it helps you in a way that you see it in a different perspective, and it can open your mind up a little bit to something. Whatever that something is, it's usually helpful. It's a helpful something. So consider that. You can get yourself voice software that can help you just vocalize it and just put it down, or if you like to type, whatever. But it is a good idea to see with your eyes your own written words about what it is that you're doing in a trade. It can also help a person who's in a rut see their own trades differently and maybe catch something that they haven't caught before. Because if there was ever an industry... Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, even if you just have a smartphone like an iPhone or an Android, you can get one of those little free apps, or You can get one of the fancy ones for $1 that's voice recording and voice activated even. So that as you were just talking, and I think we talked about this Thursday night in the partners meeting, when I was encouraging people to do the very thing you're talking about, to keep a journal, to keep a log. You can just speak it, you know, right into your phone. And if you're running, I see with the I forget to use this all the time, but because I just got the iPhone 5, but you can talk into it and it will type an email or it will type a text message. And so by the same way, you can just create little messages, email them to yourself, and then put them together in a file. And you'll be amazed at the clarity those messages will give you at the end of the day, and particularly at the end of the week. Because come Friday, you know, you've made it through the week, and trades you took Monday morning or Tuesday or whenever, you can't remember that trade. You kind of do, but I mean, they all start to run together. If you're any sort of an active trader, I mean, there's just no way you can remember them all. But if you go back through and listen to those messages, or if you've had the phone transcribe them into text for you and read through them, you really can start to connect some dots that otherwise it would just be lost, because in your head everything is just kind of swirling around. But there's something about getting it out of your head and getting it on paper. You allow yourself to have these incredible aha moments, which, by the way, aha moment was a new addition to Webster's in 2012. Aha moment.
There we are.
There you go.
There we are. I've been doing this for a long time. When I started, I was writing down my trades themselves, you know, just the actual trades in a notebook. I later stopped writing trades down and started putting together ideas about trades, and then later started writing the specific ideas that I was doing in real time. I mean, when I was writing down ideas about trades, I was thinking, you know, setups, the philosophy that I was approaching the market with, and so on. And even that is helpful. I used to talk about on this program, do you know what you know? Because a lot of people, you get so comfortable thinking you know what you know, but you have forgotten or don't really know. What is it that you know? Do you know what you know?
Or you don't act on what you know.
You don't act what you know. And so for a long time I was writing down what it is I do in the markets, what I'm looking for in the markets, my method, my approach. When I had a new idea about markets and principles and so on, I would write that down and say, I'm looking for this, and then I believe this would happen, this, and so on. I'm putting together the whole business that I'm in, basically. What am I looking for here in the markets? Later, after that, I began keeping a journal of individual trades and what I'm thinking at a particular time. And a lot of times you will repeat what you've done before, and you'll just say, well, that's just a repeat. But a lot of times there's other stuff that comes out there. And just in general, just remember the basic idea that in general, when you think something, it is different as a perspective than when you see it written in front of you. It dramatically can make a dramatic difference on how you connect with your own life and your own actions. So I believe it's valuable in other areas of your life as well. As an example, when you're in a relationship with somebody that maybe you're having some struggle or some strain, if you were to write down all of your ideas about that struggle, that uncomfortableness, that whatever the thing you're going through, it doesn't have to be something bad. I'm only using that here. You can also write down things that are very good, and I do that. You will find that you become much better informed, in a sense, of the whole issue that's going on, and possibly of the other person's position and possible solutions and so on, that you might not be just thinking about the problem. So there really is a difference between thinking and seeing your thoughts written down in a way. And there also is a little creativity that happens in the process of writing something down, especially if you're writing something about a relationship or something else. You tend to write a little bit more clearly than you might be thinking, and before you know it, you've written a really nice piece, and it just gives you that, again, it gives you the new perspective. It can really make a difference. Most people will not take that extra step. For whatever reason, writing it down just seems, it almost seems like an exercise, but it's not. It is not an exercise. It's actually growth. That's what it is. It's uncomfortable to do for some people because it actually causes you to grow in some way because it changes your perspective. You know, there's more than one perspective, and your perspective or my perspective is only one of many, many different ones. The more you can widen your perspective, the better you're going to deal with things, with trading, with people, and so on. So put that to work. Put that to work and see if that doesn't help you. It certainly has made a difference to me. I can tell you that. I wouldn't be saying it if it didn't happen. It's also a good idea to write down, like I said, your own trading method, whatever it is. Get it on paper and take a look at it. What the kinds of things you're looking for, you know, whatever it is.
Hey, you know, when you said, do you know, immediately my mind started to think about the song, Do You Know? How does that song go? Anyway, I went to YouTube to find the song, but instead of finding that song, that 70s song, I think Karen Carpenter.
Yeah.
Isn't that a Karen Carpenter song?
No, it's not Karen Carpenter.
Diana Ross?
Maybe.
Julio Iglesias.
I don't know.
Anyway, but I found something that's far more fascinating than that song. And there'll be no audio. This will be a visual. Just watch this for a second. We won't go through the whole thing because it's pretty long. If you're 1 in a million in China, there are 1,300 people just like you. China will soon become the #1 English-speaking country in the world. 25% of India's population with the highest IQ is greater than the total population of the U.S. India has more honors kids than America has kids. I'm reading this for the benefit of those who are on the podcast later. The top 10 in-demand jobs in 2010 did not exist in 2004. We are currently preparing students for jobs that don't yet exist, using technologies that haven't been invented in order to solve problems we don't even know are problems yet. U.S. Department of Labor estimates that today's learner will have 10 to 14 jobs by the age of 38. 1 in 4 workers has been with their current employer for less than a year. 1 in 2 have been there less than 5 years. Did you know?
Well, there you
1
are.
out of 8 couples married in the U.S. last year met online. That's 1 out of 8. There are 845 million active users of Facebook. Facebook's available in more than 70 languages. If Facebook were a country, it would be the 3rd largest. Oh, okay, I'll stop this now, guys. If you want to watch this, go to youtube.com, and it's called Did You Know? You know what? I'll just put the link in the chat box for you so you can watch it later. Now, David, have you ever watched that movie, The Social Network?
I have not.
Michael, have you seen it?
I have not either.
Because it actually made me think about it with you typing there in the background, because when that movie opens, it's got this guy just hammering on a keyboard, man, just writing code. And the Winklevoss twins are in the movie. Well, people playing, I guess, I don't think it's the real twins, but anyway. They're in the news. Have you guys heard about them being in the news? Did you know they're in the news again?
No.
They were now, I didn't know the story behind Facebook. I kind of thought I knew, and I understand that some say this movie is not really the true story of what happened, but I think it's probably close. And Mark maybe did steal some of their code, maybe did steal some of their idea, and maybe he didn't. He says he didn't. They say he did. But a jury or a judge, however that played out, did side with the Winklevoss twins. What did they get? 600 million? Or how much? 60 million?
I think it was 60 or 70.
60. Okay, they got 60 million. So, but now they have a new business venture. Let me bring up. I've got it right here. Winklevoss. Winklevoss twins plan first fund for Bitcoins. Bitcoin has been promoted as an alternative cryptocurrency, which you all first heard about, probably here on CFRN. Cameron and Tyler, the twins best known for their part in the history of Facebook, filed a proposal with securities regulators on Monday that would allow any investor to trade Bitcoins just as if they were stocks. The plan involves an exchange-traded fund, which usually tracks a basket of stocks or a commodity, but in this case would hold only Bitcoins. It's a part of a broader effort to remove the stigma hovering over Bitcoin and other online money endeavors, which have faced a barrage of regulatory questions and enforcement actions. The proposal from the twins, who already have sizable Bitcoin holdings, they say they have $10 million in Bitcoins. The Winklevoss Bitcoin Trust is what it's called, could send digital money from the realm of computer programmers, internet entrepreneurs, and a small circle of professional investors into the hands of retail investors, virtually anyone with a brokerage account. Their trust will bring Bitcoins to Main Street and mainstream investors. So these guys got it right with the Facebook. Even if Mark didn't steal their stuff, he doesn't argue that they came to him with this idea. He admits to that. He just said he also had the idea. So they have a little bit of a history. And we're very taken with this whole concept of the Bitcoin. We've talked about it a lot here on the show. And that movie, I've got it from Redbox. I paid $1 to rent it, which turned into a $3 rental because I couldn't finish it and I couldn't get it back. And I never watched the entire movie. It started to drag a little. I got as far as when they moved from New York to Silicon Valley, and they had a bunch of coders working out of their house, writing code. And it's really interesting, the parallels between Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs. People who were there at the very beginning and helped Mark get this thing off the ground and going, he was very quick to kind of fire them, sever ties with them, and move on. Most of them have since sued him and gotten big paydays, whereas with Steve Jobs, I think he got away with it for the most part. And the biggest one never sued him, and that was his buddy, the other Steve. So anyway, I'm sort of rambling now here, I realize. So David, do you want to talk about something else?
Oh, just the markets.
I know the sound of my voice, calms you, and you could just listen to it all day. But not everybody feels that way. So.
Well, that's very nice. Let me think. There was something I was going to mention. You passed over a subject, but it may come back to me here in a little bit. But
Karen Carpenter?
No, not Karen Carpenter. Although I have to say, and for the women that are in the audience, I just want to let you know that I adored Karen Carpenter's voice. I didn't realize how great she was until later, into my 30s and 40s when I thought back to her. She had a very unfortunate story because she had a really what many people didn't recognize as a real disorder until much later, which was I can't remember the name of it, where you don't feel like eating. You purposely don't eat, and you purposely, what you have eaten, you purposely make yourself throw up, so that you really don't get nutrition.
That's bulimia, but I don't think. But she didn't have. She had anorexia, which is a little different. But yeah, it's still But you're right. Back then, people didn't know. Yeah, we didn't know that it was a sickness. We just.
Yeah, it was just a strange thing, and very sad because she had gotten thinner and thinner. If you go back on even YouTube and go see some of her later, for back then, the later years, she was looking awfully thin in TV programs that she was going on. She had this really amazingly enunciated, beautiful clarity in her singing that is, you just have to either appreciate it or not, but Disney quality. I mean, in a sense, it was just perfection, and I didn't really appreciate that until later in life. And her story is a sad one because she went home to her parents' house, and she must have known that she was close to her own death, and her parents may not have known. I don't think they did. And she went to her bedroom where she grew up, and she went to bed and died. And she died completely, unnecessarily at that time, in a sense, because this disorder could have been. She could have been somehow helped by it. But not only was I touched by that story, but I was also touched by how musical and how amazing Karen Carpenter really was. I mean, it may mean nothing to the whole world. It won't make a difference to me because I was really moved by her talent and her incredible, like I said, the enunciation and her Disney quality presentation of her voice really did something for me. So she's an unfortunate victim of that, and you know, because of people like her, they've made a lot of progress on it. Mankind is a moving, you know, flood of people who many of them suffer with something that because of that suffering, it doesn't go you know, it's not meaningless because later that suffering and that number of people who have died from it produce other people who want to solve that problem, and over time those problems do get solved, and at some point we will solve some of the bigger problems, the medical problems such as cancer and such as, you know, because so many people have been hit by that and so many people will have it. That is going to be one of the things that science at some point completely solves, and that of course is going to be one of those steps that we take on as humanity in living much, much longer on Earth. And at some point the Earth is going to fill up. I don't know how it's all going to end, but I can guarantee you that man will be living 150 or longer years when medical science continues to understand the mechanism of life. Or maybe, yeah, the mechanism, which your body is a mechanism of life. You know, understanding life itself is a deeper thing, but how it expresses itself through a human body and all that medical science, every single day slowly chipping away at understanding how these things work. So anyway, with that, Dwayne, I think if you want, we can take a look at some of these markets today. S&P, of course, is very, very quiet. We've had a little bit of movement today. I'm of the belief that we're probably not going to see a lot more out of the S&P today. It's probably going to remain pretty quiet. Yesterday, the market did sell off into the close here. Nothing. I mean, this has been a very, very minor sell-off overall, but I would have expected and still do expect the market to, under normal conditions, go to 16, what we talked about yesterday, 23, 24, and then higher prices that we've talked about. But they have not reached it yet, which is interesting to me. The day's not over yet. We don't have a forecast for that price to be reached at a point in time, but just that the market is in a position to get to that price and higher. So
what was that price again, David? I'm sorry.
1623.24.
Okay. All right.
That they would, generally speaking, the advance, the idea behind this was that, and I don't remember if I mentioned this or not, but we had forecast that on June 28th, the market would decline and test or attempt in our written work for the institutional stuff, that it would go down to 92. The market would decline from the high they made on June 28th down to 1592, and that was the trade. Well, on the 28th, the market got down to 1594.25. On the 29th, one day later, or excuse me, on July 1st, one day later, because the 28th was Friday, the 1st was Monday, they got down to 93.25 and then reversed and took out the highs. So
you're talking behavior. Okay, you're talking. You're actually talking June 30th, aren't you? Which
yes, June 30th. June 28th. I'm sorry, June 28th into July 1st.
Because the Globex opened Sunday night. That's when we spiked down. I don't know if you're looking at Globex, but we put in a low at 93.25.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
What I'm saying. So on the 28th, on Friday, we made a low of 94.25, and then they took another stab at the 92 target on July 1st, which of course includes the Globex of Sunday night, and they went down to 93.25. Well, you've heard me say this so many times. When the market can't reach a number, they made 2 attempts at it there, and then they're up above taking out the highs. They usually want to run right up to the next important level, which is not even that important. 23.24 is just a nominal place where they would go to. Well, they have still not done it. So that's a little unusual, but not terribly yet because it's just one day, and today we're about a day and a half into that move. I do think higher prices are very likely before lower prices. That would be a good way of saying it.
Let me ask you a question, David. Was the 2324 number important to you yesterday, or was it important just today?
The 2324 was important to us on the completion of 93.
Okay,
when
because
they could not get to 92, the reason
Yeah.
when they couldn't get to 92 and started to firm up, that set for us higher prices into motion, and we still will probably see them.
Okay, because the reason that I ask is yesterday it was important to us because it's a weekly number for us, and so when we got up yesterday and put in this swing high at 2050, the fact that we had gotten so far past the weekly zone at 1415, we got to 20.5, but we couldn't quite make it to 24. That sends the same kind of warning signal to us that you're just talking about with your work. And then today, the fact that we couldn't even get back to the 20.5. I mentioned yesterday that I thought that the fact we couldn't get to the zone might signal a high for the week. You think that's at all possible, that we've seen the high for the week?
No, I'm actually and we have a holiday this week, so it's a little chopped up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I think the trend. My point is that I'm not reading this as a warning so much as it's just taking longer to get up there. That there is probably still higher prices coming under normal conditions. There's no question, higher prices are coming before lower prices. That's how I view this. So we're looking, and we did this morning trade on the long side, had a nice move on the upside earlier today, and we'll continue to put trades together on the long side because we think the trend is up in spite of yesterday's movement. And it is a holiday week. There are lots of theories about the holidays and what it means, and how you can maybe trade it and what edge you can have. But generally speaking, I like the idea around holidays of trying to trade the trend, because the market often will trend in a holidays. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with what they have done so far. This is well within a trend, depending on the time frame that you are trading on. Very, very short-term traders would not necessarily agree with that, but just off the lows that they made, just the June 24th bottom, which was a reflected wave low, we're still moving up off that, and normally we would see further advance from here to higher prices. That's our trading outlook for the S&P. And if something changes that, we may have to buy that knowledge if something changes that. But right now, they've done nothing wrong. It's real quiet, but we're willing to continue to take the trades on the long side for further advance as long as they continue to show trending behavior. So holiday week, often you get the trending behavior. I'm not ready yet to say that them getting up to 16, 20, 50 is a complete miss of 23 and 24. I'm not ready to say, wow, that's really weak behavior. Maybe it will turn out to be, but so far we're in pretty good shape with regard to reading it. Now, as we're talking right now, they are selling off a little bit. Today's low is 1604.75 on Globex.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what they're able to do with this decline. They have the Bears, if you like to think of it that way, they have the ball in their court here. Let's see what they're able to do.
The Bears.
The cycle is in there. They're Bears, yeah.
Bears.
They do what they do. They go down.
Now, we just blew through this little pink box here, guys. The bottom of the box is a 62% retracement from this swing low up to this swing high. That's not a trading methodology for us. It's just a point of reference, if you will, or confirmation tool. And so if this 62% retracement is, obviously taken out, then the only logical spot for us would be back to this support area that we've been trading off of for a solid week now at 1605. And then if 1605 got taken out, the next spot on the downside for us would be, where would it be? Down at 0102. So, I don't know. It's looking kind of heavy. We ran up this morning briskly. There was a little bit of good news, nothing major. But now we're coming off pretty good. I mean, we had this rally in 1 hour, went from 05 to 16. So this was an 11 point, and now my hourly candle will be different than yours, guys, because if you're on a day session chart, your candle starts on the half hour. See, for me, this candle represents 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, whereas your candle might be 9:30 to 10:30 if you're on a day session chart. Just in case you look at my chart and it looks a little confusing for you, that's the reason. But it looks like we could potentially give back everything we took in this hour. We might be giving it back in this hour. We've already gone through about, what's 60% of it, looks like. Well, no, actually, yeah, roughly. So, all right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Watch, but 1605, guys, that should be a good spot for support and a bounce if we do get down there. So, oh, what else was I going to say? Oh, we got an open house, guys, tomorrow and Friday. We'll be closed Thursday, but an open house means we just throw the doors open to the trading room and everybody can come hang out. You don't need a special pass or anything. I'll post that information on the blog for everybody, and everybody's welcome. It doesn't matter if you've taken the trial before. It's a holiday, and so we're just going to do that. Now, David, you're not going to run Messenger Pro on Friday, right?
That is correct.
But you're going to come on the radio?
I believe so. I'm going to do everything I can to be on the radio on Friday with you.
Good.
If it works out that I can't, I, of course, will text you well in advance and let you know, but I would like to.
Okay.
Sure would like to.
That sounds good. I look forward to it. Okay.
Yeah. You want to move on to some other markets here? We'll take a quick look. Okay. Let's zip over to our old favorite, the gold market.
Getting shellacked yet again?
Today a little bit down. Yeah, they're not terrible, but they are down a little bit today. We had talked on the program here about gold moving up. I mentioned also for those of you that go to our institutional stuff that we had forecast back on June 28th that gold would advance and test 1268 on the upside. And today's high is 1267. And then they reversed off it, and they're, as Dwayne says, moving lower here. This test is we think, early test of that level, the 1267, 1268 level. For those that were long, we were instructing people to take profits at or near 68. But I do want to say that for those of you that can read the trend, that know how to judge if the market is still on the trend, and you can do that, that we think that the market is going to retest the 68 level or higher under normal conditions into July 4th, but that would now be July 5th, the Friday, because July 4th the markets would be closed. So I like the idea potentially of setting up a long trade for a retest of the originally forecast 1268 level, even though today is down, because I think that the market will want to do that into July 4th, the holiday, which really means July 5th plus or minus one trading day. So that would be something for you to, for those of you to take a look at and see if you want to put a trade together utilizing that information. I think that could be a nice little move. Even if they were to move down a little bit lower, that just makes it that much nicer a trade. If we were to get down and test, 1230, I don't know, this isn't the forecast, but if we were to get lower, that just means that you have, well, for those of you with, like, as an example, using our turning point methodology, reflected wave, you could use that to get yourself into a position on the long side for the expected retest of the top or the 1268 or higher that we talked about. Now, again, it's a holiday week. The market will do this, but the timing of it may be just a little off, only because of the one day. I've noticed, by the way, that in many cases it's not off because of holidays. The market tends to get it done anyway, but it would normally then land on the 5th, plus or minus a day. So, that's something to consider. My only concern is that when there is a holiday and the market has rushed up and already done the 1268, I wonder myself, is that have they really completed it? If you subtract July 4th out, would we already be there at 1 day early? It's possible, and that would be the completion. But I like the idea right now of taking a look at gold, taking a look at this pullback as a pullback in an ongoing uptrend, and rebuying the market at some point for a further test of 68, at or near 68 or higher into July 5th. So think of that. Take a look at the gold. That might be usable information. We're certainly going to do that after having had the run-up here from a few days ago. Gold, by the way, we're now in the third quarter of the year. Isn't that funny? We're in the third quarter of 2013. It's kind of hard to believe. It's the start of it, but the year is zipping by pretty quick. We normally would expect a further test or new lows in the third quarter of this year. So when we do get a sell signal of importance, we're probably going to be acting on that, or we'll be instructing people to act on that in their own way. So, okay, so let's move on to the bond market. Now, yesterday on the radio program, I talked about this forecast, which goes all the way back to June 26th. So this is actually the fourth day from when the forecast was originally published, but on the radio we've talked about it a couple of times, which is that the June 26th bottom in the U.S. 30-year Treasury bond market should advance up to the 136.06 level into July 2nd. So the run would be from June 26th up into July 22nd. Excuse me, July 2nd. The 22nd is quite a ways out, and the market would touch 136.06. And we have today, as I mentioned yesterday, we were expecting them to still go higher and test the 136.06 today. We've done that. 136.11 was reached. A daily close today below 136.06 would be the weaker position short term, and that trade is over. So that completes the trade. For practical purposes, everyone was out of this on June 28th when they made a high of 136.04. That was close enough. But as I mentioned yesterday on the program, I felt much the same way that I do about the gold trade, that yesterday's pullback was buying territory for a further advance and a completion of 136.06 into today, Tuesday, July 2nd. So we'll leave that as it is because there's plenty of other markets here that we can take our next trade from. So for right now, we're flat in the bonds. We'll continue to talk about it as we tomorrow and then into next week, of course. The euro, I'm very flat in the euro, if that makes any sense. We do have some deeper targets on the downside that I've talked about, but we have not given them out on the program. But this is part of the institutional stuff. But I do want to say that in general, we are looking for under normal conditions a low, as we've talked about, in the month of July in the first week of July, not in the month of July, but in the first week of July. So we are in the first week of July, so we're going to continue to watch this. If we were to get down to the lower prices that we would like to see, that sets us up pretty nicely for a reversal. And, both the dollar has been going up and the euro has been going down. So we're starting to see what we like to see in order to get a trade set up here. So we'll continue to talk about the euro, see if we can put something together.
For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days now, David, look at that. We've just kind of just sideways here. So I think this thing is coiling, as they call it, or consolidating and getting ready for. And are you leaning towards an up move, a down move?
Well, we're leaning towards the week finishing on the downside plus 1 week. In other words, this week plus 1 week. And we are looking then to potentially reverse. We're not short now, but the idea would be then we're looking for a reversal off of the weekly bottom that would be occurring this week. But we want to see, because important turns occur to important prices, we want to see these important prices reached. And in the vast majority of cases, they will be. But sometimes the markets, like life, don't play out exactly the way that you would consider to be normal, and that's just a way of speaking. You know, what we think to be normal is just what we're used to and what we've seen enough of to classify as normal, talking about our own trading. But, you know, the markets are as big as life, and normal isn't normal. I mean, the markets can do anything they want to do. They do have principles at work, but sometimes even those get twisted by the whole functioning of the whole market. So the past, the present, and the future of the market all work on the market. The market is not a random thing that today is completely unconnected from yesterday or yesteryear. It's one big whole that is underway. And as strange as it sounds, the past influences the future, and the future, strange as it sounds, influences the past. And by that, I mean that right now, the past will influence the future, which has not happened yet. But that future, if you could know it, and in often cases you can, it also, in reverse, influences what the markets are going to do now. So this is only important if you're forecasting the markets. I want to remind people that that's not necessarily the only way to skin the cat. You don't necessarily have to forecast in order to trade successfully. It's just one of the many things that people do. I've always been drawn towards the forecasting side, but there are trend followers who don't do any forecasting at all. There's a real beauty to what they do, and we've talked about that, that it's very beautiful that they literally go out of their way to say we know nothing. We just follow whatever trend is starting.
Right.
And what they do know is what a starting trend looks like. They have to have some way of identifying a trend. And then they start with that, and they follow trends. And so trend follower is a very different kind of person in the market than a forecaster or a person trading for a certain fixed number of points and so on. These guys are not doing that. A very different breed. I think the majority of the real money in the markets has been made in trend following, but there are some people who are very, very good at other ways of trading as well. The downside of trend following is the emotional side, because you have to stay with the position through all kinds of potential problems that you have to deal with and still continue to hold your position, see all kinds of gains erode away only to be given back again and then to erode again. And, you know, it can be very hard on your emotions. Depends on your perspective and how you think about the markets. But most people are very fast to think, oh, I've got a gain, I better go grab it. And that's how we've all sort of, you know, got into the markets. They gave you something, go quick and grab it. But the trend follower is a different beast. He just is a different man. He's a different woman in the market. So,
David, if you'll keep talking, I'm going to put you on hold one second, please.
Yeah, please. Let's go over to the crude market. We had talked, we've been talking about crude putting in a bottom that was forecast with reflected wave on June 24th. And our institutional group, we got this out in the letter and the whole buying territory and all the other stuff. We've had a really good advance in crude. Yesterday they completed, for trading purposes, the target of $98.15. So the market made a bottom on June 24th. It was forecast to run from the June 24th close, which was $94.95. It was forecast to run up to $98.15. They completed that yesterday. They closed at $98.06. Today they continued higher. Under normal conditions here, we expect higher prices. I mean longer term, not normal conditions, but longer term, we do expect the higher prices. As you know, we've talked about the 103 and so on, based off of the April monthly bottom. I have been saying this for months. This market's going to move higher. Some people that work with Bert Schlichter, who take our information and their own excellent trading skills, have done very well with crude oil from April by selling put premium. And that's a big important part of our strategy, is to use options. And one of the reasons that options are good is because they don't move tick for tick. One of the reasons futures are good is because they move tick for tick. But those are two of the most extremely different kinds of creatures that you can, or instruments that you can trade. The options have the advantage of letting you relax some and giving you the freedom of not having to worry about the tick for tick, and you pay for that freedom by having to wait a lot longer for a smaller amount of money. That's kind of the payoff. But you also have a higher win-loss ratio. As a general rule, you will have a higher win-loss ratio, sometimes dramatically, in using options. If you look at our trading statement that we put out sometimes in our webinars, it looks like there's an awful lot of winning trades there because options allow us to, because of the nature of options, you can have more wins than you do losses. And the trick, though, is that people tend to let the 1 or 2 losses wipe out a huge amount of their many, many gains. If you sell an option, you're going to get paid a certain amount of money for it, and no matter how far the market moves in your favor, that certain amount that you got paid is as good as it will get. That's one of the things, that's one of the pays, the payoffs that you have to pay off, basically, in getting the relaxed nature of the option, is that the market might run to the moon, but if you were paid $3 for that option, you just get $3. That's it. It doesn't get any better than that. But you can work a strategy around that, and we really have. We've done very well with options, and I think we will continue to, and I think anybody can, especially the way that we're utilizing them, which is just to find larger time frame tops and bottoms and sell puts and sell calls against them. And even while owning the stock or buying and selling futures, but you have this sort of core position in options that are decaying over time. That decaying goes in your favor. I won't go into all the details about it, but again, I like the idea of people knowing about these different instruments because you might connect. You know how some people say, well, I don't ever touch the futures, I just trade stocks. That's because they connect with stocks. Stocks mean something. They make sense to them. Futures don't make sense to some people. They just don't like it. Options make sense to me. I like the idea of it. I also enjoy stocks, and I do like futures. But not everybody likes all of them, and you might find that options are very good for you. So in the meantime, crude continues to advance. They're up nicely today. You'll all be driving electric cars soon because gasoline prices are going to go up really high, and it's going to annoy you, especially you guys that are spending $100 a week or every couple days on your big trucks that you probably don't really need. But some of you do need trucks, so you're going to have to keep paying those prices until they come out with hybrid
Well, you know,
trucks.
trucks are nice to have
When
friends and relatives need to move.
Oh, absolutely. Are you moving some relatives? That sounds like something happening to you.
Well, you've seen the little bumper stickers. Yes, this is my truck, and no, I won't help you move.
Oh, that's funny. No, I've not seen that. No,
Actually,
really
I don't
good.
get hit up. I don't get hit up that often, but it is nice to
Very
have.
practical.
Yeah.
It is. Great thing. Trucks have obviously they've got a great purpose to them. A lot of people have trucks though and never use that big bed in the back. They just like driving around a truck. So you're just spending all that extra money to drive a truck, and that's fine. But there's if you really sit down, and maybe it's a good thing for some of us to do. Have you ever taken a look at your finances and really just go over where you're spending your money? Like I have some storage spaces. Oh,
And
okay.
and you've spent more to store that stuff than the stuff's actually worth.
That may be the case. That's what I'm saying.
I know for
Now,
me, I had a storage shed for 10 years. I was paying a little over $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. That's $12,000 I spent over that decade. And trust me, the stuff inside of there was some stuff with sentimental value that I guess you can't replace at any price, but just monetary value. No way. Not even close.
Yeah. But these leaks, people have the leaks. You're leaking money over here, you're leaking money over there, credit cards and so on. Don't cut your credit cards up. Don't do that. Just pay them off and if you use them, pay them off before the month is over. Buy stuff you can. Listen, the beauty of credit cards is that you can go in and buy and all that, and that's great. But only spend, if you can, money that you could afford to pay off in 30 days. If you will promise yourself that, I promise you'll never get in trouble with credit. Only use your credit card for the vast majority of things. There's going to be some big exception maybe, but in the vast majority of cases, say to yourself, yes, it's fun. I can give the credit card now. I don't have to come out of pocket now. But can I pay this amount off in 30 days? If I can do that, then I can go ahead and use this credit card. Don't let it stack up and say, I'll just put it on. It'll only add $16 a month, and that's how you get in trouble. Now, Dwayne, they're about to shut the power off at my office here. And the reason why is we're having a special 208-volt plug put in my office, and in order for them to do that, they're going to have to shut all of the power off, which means my computer and potentially the internet for a very short period of time. So I won't be able to stay on the radio any further from here, at least for a little bit here, because they're about to shut it off. So they just gave me the signal. Something I know, and I was going to mention to you that earlier, and I forgot to, that we have this imminent thing. Let me see if they are imminent right now, and then I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Just give me a moment. They are going to go down right now, so let me thank you. We'll call it a day here right now, Dwayne. I'm sorry about the short interruption, but we've got people in here doing this stuff.
No, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take care of this. Thank you guys for listening today. See you here tomorrow. We'll put it all together, and you guys have a wonderful afternoon.
Okay, guys, sit tight because I got some information to give you. But David, let me send you packing here with your little song, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay?
Okay, great. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I didn't notice what time it was. All I know is that I fell in love with you. And if all my dreams come true, I'll be spending time with you. Every day's a new day in love with you.
All right, guys, it has been a bumpy ride all the way around. Listen, I just set up the link for the open house. Let me make the link live. Hang on one second. Let me check it, make sure it's working. Then I'm going to give you the address so that you can go and get yourself signed up. Let me just make sure it's working. Okay. All right. Now, it's the link, it's the password. You don't have to go through the typical process that you go through where you go to the apply page, or I give you a special link if you're taking a second chance. This link just bypasses the entire thing. So let me put it into the chat room. I just put it out on the blog. That's easy for everybody to find. And so I'm going to put the blog address into the chat room right now. There it goes. And there it goes. Okay, it's in both of the little chat rooms, chat boxes. Okay, so if you just click that. Now, if you're already on the free trial, you don't have to do anything. If you're already a partner, you don't have to do anything. It's the same link, okay? But if you're just someone that would like to come and hang out with us tomorrow and Friday, we're just doing it because it's the holiday, and I don't know. We're in a festive mood, and we thought it would be nice to just open the doors, let everybody come in, watch, trade along with us, ask questions. So there you go. The link's out there. If you have any trouble at all getting signed up, and you shouldn't, but if you do, as always, you can email me, support@cfrn.net. As always, you can call us 949-42-EMINI. 949-42-EMINI. If you need to talk to Bert or Leslie because you want to get an account opened, or you need to know what the minimum is, or any of that stuff, or if it's actually a issue with your platform or the indicators, not how to read the indicators, that's mine and Michael's wheelhouse, but just something, with the mechanics of it, that's Bert and Leslie's wheelhouse. Call them toll free, 866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Yeah, Richard just posted in here that you guys could have brownouts due to the heat. That's very possible. There's an extreme heat warning in effect here in Phoenix through Thursday night. This morning I woke up and we were having sort of a monsoon type of event early in the morning. That's very unusual. It wasn't raining, but there was the very high winds, big wind gusts, and just windy period. I had to go outside and help my son move some things around in the yard that were getting blown around, making a mess. And those types of storms, if you've ever lived here in the Phoenix area, you know they tend to come late afternoon, 4, 5 o'clock. So wake up and see one at, I got up this morning at 5:35, I think, 5:45, something like that. And it's calmed down now. So I don't know if this is the calm before the big storm or not. But yep. And I don't have a generator. Now Michael, because they lose power all the time in the winter because of the snow, he is prepared for those types of emergencies. In Phoenix, the only time we lose power is during a monsoon, and that's limited to usually 1 or 2 weeks out of the year. And should I have a generator? I probably should, but I don't. So if I go down, I'm down. All right, let me go to the charts, and let me go to the chat box, and if there's any questions that anybody has, I'll be happy to answer them before I take off. I'm not in a big rush, so if you do have a question, let me know. If there's anything about this chart, anything about the tweets, anything about being a partner, how the 4-tick range charts work, any of that, you know, type it in. Now let me show you what the page where you're going to register for the open house. Okay. You won't see all this stuff because I'm logged in. Here, I'll log out so it won't confuse you. Emini Radio Blog, right there. You click that, Emini Radio Blog, and then just click. You could come down here and click right onto the post, or you can just go to View Recent Posts. Emini Futures Live Trading Room Open House. Okay. Now remember, if you've already registered for this week, don't register again because that confuses the computer. Just click this. It'll take you to this page. Go ahead and do this today. All right. Get yourself signed up, and then tomorrow morning or late tonight, you'll get another email that says, hey, don't forget, your meeting is tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern, and you're going to need the password right there, Independence. Okay? And then just come hang out with us. We'll have a good time. Okay, price has come down to 1605 support, made a run. Nice run up to, we got a swing high of 1618.5. Okay. We then pulled back into the zone. Now, guys, this really is important. It looked for all the world like we were going to take off and head up to this next zone. It also looked like that over here yesterday. Okay. The zones are 24, 25. Typically, by the time price has moved this far away from the previous zone, once it's committed itself, for lack of a better term, very high probability it's going to continue. Okay? Just like Don, I'm going to answer your question here. Don, I'm going to type that in for you. There you go. That should work for you, Don. If it doesn't, let me know. All right. Okay, back to the chart. Okay, price tried to get to the next zone, and typically when it's moved this far away from a zone, it becomes high probability that it's going to go here. Okay? And when it doesn't, that is, for us, some really important information. Now, what happened when it couldn't get there? Okay, it came, consolidated, and then moved lower. Found a known area of support. We were ready for that. There was a tweet out to get long. The get long part was as we went back up above, not coming down. See, there's two ways you can you can park an order is a term. Okay, I'm not crazy about that. I'm not crazy about the term or the results you get from that type of trading. Rather than catching it on the way in, because guess what? It could just keep going. and then you're stopped out needlessly. So what the tweet said is let it come back and then catch it on the way out as it climbs back above 1607. Okay, and then look what it did. It went up, pulled back. Okay, it got above 1607. Then it put in a little swing low at 0775. Took us right up to the zone at 1614. That's where I tweeted last night, consider getting out. Price came back, 1605, known area of support, ran again, okay, to put in this swing high. Now, we can see from our, so we have a nice vantage point right now, okay, after the fact. It's always, things are usually crystal clear after the fact. I don't like to talk as much about after the fact stuff if I don't point out that, hey, I realize we're talking about this after the fact. But look what happened. Price ran up, couldn't get there. Made a move down, retraced, could not put in a higher high, put in a lower high. Okay? Now, this is no longer a retracement. This is a reversal. Okay? Why do I say that? Well, I base it on this. Let me draw those again. I think my battery might be going out of my mouse. See, when we go from the swing low up to the swing high, we got a 62% retracement. Once we blew through the 62, okay, at the bottom of the pink box, that tells me, now again, different people will interpret this differently, but for me, that's my signal that this is probably no longer a retracement. This is in fact now a reversal. Okay, so what is, you heard me say earlier, I said to David, if we take out the bottom of the pink box, then we should go right down to this known area of support because there's nothing in the way to prevent that from happening. And look what's happened. We've actually come right down to test this area. Now, if we go left, 1604, that's the number we tweeted Sunday night on the Globex Open. We had been working last week with 1605. 1605 was very good to us. But Sunday night, I pulled it back a point. It's just how the chart's laid out. We triggered at 1604. We triggered last night at 05.5. We triggered again this morning at 05. And now watch what's going to happen here. Okay? This is a high probability trade. Buyers are going to come in and try to run this thing up. Will they succeed? I don't know. Okay? All I know is that hang on. All right, so let's extend this line across here. Buyers will typically come in here, okay, known area of support, and attempt to run this thing up. If they don't, okay, because look at how many times this area has been good for buying. The market has a memory, traders have a memory. Will this be the first time 1604, 1605 doesn't hold? Possibly. Let's face it, it can't hold forever. If lows and highs always held, pretty soon everyone would lose, you know, their interest in trading the markets because Okay, here's a message from Jeanette. She says that once they pass 1609.50, I interpreted a reversal. 1609.50. Very good. See, that was just below the bottom of that pink box. Very good. You're right on target there, Jeanette. Dwayne, what about news affecting price action movement and disallowing it to go into the weekly trading zones? Well, news always affects price. Okay, anytime there's a news report, and depending upon if it's a high impact or a low impact, and let me show you our toolbar. You can download the CFRN toolbar for free. I'll show you how to do that. CFRN.net, and on the right-hand side of the page, okay, just scroll down, and you'll see it right here, download our toolbar. Okay, click that. It's going to bring up this page. It's free, installs and activates in seconds. This toolbar was built in conjunction with Amazon, the company, not the jungle. You have my word and the word of Jeff Bezos that there is no badware, adware, malware, spamware in the toolbar. There's only goodware. Now, your antivirus should caution you about installing it. Hey, are you sure? Do you trust the providers of this content? And you say yes, because again, you have my word and Jeff's word that it's safe. Now, once you install it, it's going to look like this right here. You'll have access to the radio program, to the website, one click. You can listen to the radio play in the background because we stream 24/7. It's not just the 2 hours of live radio we do each day. We've been streaming 24/7 for 8 years. So you can stream in the background as you're going about your work, as you're, surfing other web pages. As you go across, you can get our RSS feed. You can follow all of our Twitter entries. You can do your Facebooking. You can do your own tweeting. It's all right here. There's an Amazon wish list right there. You can get into your Gmail. Everybody should have a Gmail account. It's free. And having a Gmail account unlocks a lot of other services on the internet that are provided by Google. So it's free. I highly encourage you to get a free Gmail account. Their ability to block spam it's phenomenal compared to any other mail client that I've used. Okay. Now there are some very aggressive ones out there like Spam Arrest, but also Spam Arrest can cause you to miss important emails because if somebody sends something out and they don't see the email that comes back, the verification email, and they don't verify it, you don't get that email. And if you don't go check the basket, you might. So what I have found is that by using, we use Gmail for business, business apps, the whole thing to manage all of our domains, but you get the same level of spam protection just as a everyday user of Gmail. And man, the way you can search your emails, if somebody 2 years ago sent you an email about their Ford Pinto, you can go and you can search in your Gmail client Ford Pinto. It'll find that email in just seconds. It's truly amazing. So I recommend that everybody has a free Gmail account right there. And then over here, the blue button, this is where the really good stuff is. You read our daily newspaper, the CFRN Emini Futures daily paper. You can also subscribe to the paper. Okay, it'll load up there in a second. Drop it down. You can follow us on Google+, see what we're doing over on Seeking Alpha. The Daily Audio Bible, this is one of the best parts of the toolbar. Okay, when you click that thing, it is going to take you to the Daily Audio Bible, but it's all together, compact in one place. If you've ever set out to read the whole Bible in a year, and I know a lot of us have, and we get behind, and then, by February or March, we end up abandoning our plans, this helps you stay on track. This guy, Brian, he's got this great voice. He can say all of those names in the Old Testament, the ones that we stumble over, man, they just flow off of his lips like honey. He does a different translation each week. Every day you get Old Testament, New Testament, Proverbs, and Psalms. Then one week it'll be out of the King James, the next week it'll be out of the Message, then it'll be out of the English Standard. And it's a whole community of people around the world. And he reads about 20 minutes, okay? And then he gives about 5 minutes of commentary, and then 5 minutes of community news, and then the final 5-10 minutes are him playing voicemails that have come in from listeners around the world with praise reports and prayer requests. And man, that is my favorite part of the daily audio Bible, is the very end. I mean, after I've got, and if you do this, you'll get through the entire Bible in 1 year. And if you miss a day, see, they're archived. So if you get a week behind, you just go click it and get caught up. All right? It's really, it's awesome. If you'll, I promise you, if you'll spend 1 week with the Daily Audio Bible, Brian and the community, I believe it'll become a part of your daily routine for the rest of your life. I feel that strongly about it. Give me 5 days. I don't make any money if you do this, but I think your life will be greatly enriched. Maybe you already read your Bible every day. Well, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to do this. I'm just telling you, at the end of 5 days, if you do it, you will send me an email going, Dwayne, words cannot express my gratitude. And I'll say, you know what? You don't have to thank me. Just go tell 5 people. All right? Keep this thing going. It's really awesome. Okay? And then last but not least, daily economic reports. Here's the drop down. Now, I got into this whole discussion because someone said, Dwayne, what about news affecting price action movement and disallowing it to go into the weekly trading zones? That was the question. Okay, when you drop this down, you're going to get the news reports that are coming out around the globe, okay? I didn't want that. Oh, come on. Go back to a page that's already loaded. Here. See, here's the newspaper. You can have this delivered to your inbox if you just want to read it as an email. You can do that. So let me just close and go back to the news. There we go, the economic calendar. That's what automatically loads by default. I just hit the wrong button by accident. You just drop it down and click Daily Economic Reports. Okay, this page loads. And if you don't have a million things running and recording and broadcasting and all of that, it actually loads fairly quickly on an ordinary computer. Let me get back over here. Now, see the little flag, Australia, Hong Kong, Great Britain, till you get up to the U.S. These were the U.S. economic reports that came out today. 3 steerheads means it's high impact. And you really should be flat on a high impact news event unless you have learned specifically how to trade news events. That is a skill set unto itself. 1 steerhead, that's low impact, probably won't have that much of an effect. 2, medium effect. Okay? So this morning, everything we had was low impact, but yet the market still got affected a little bit. Now, that's today. We can pop over and see what's going to happen tomorrow. Wednesday, they've got a holiday. They've got a Wednesday listed as a holiday. The day before Independence Day, early close, 1300. Okay. Let's scroll down and see if there's any U.S. events. We got 1 high impact tomorrow. ADP, non-farm employment change. Okay. Oh, come on down. We got more initial jobless claims. So there's some big news tomorrow morning. We've got 8:15 high impact, 8:30 high impact. Now these other ones, you might be going, well, why do I need to know about Great Britain? If you're trading the Globex session overnight, whether you're trading the S&P or the Russell or any market other than grains probably, some big news event, a high impact news event around the globe can affect the market you're trading in tonight. All right, so This is why we always want you to be aware, and that's why I built that into the toolbar. Okay, you just drop it down, and then if you want to see the whole week at a glance, there you go. You just click this week. Back to the original question. We prefer to always be flat prior to a news event. Even the low impact, we like to just get out of the way because you never know how the market's going to react. They can react strongly to low impact. They cannot react at all to high impact. You don't know. Sometimes the news is already factored in. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's buy on the rumor, sell on the fact. Sometimes it's not. What we found over time, over the years, that to keep things consistent and to make sure that our trade setups are high probability setups, we stay away from news events. So that covers the news part of the question. The second part of the question is the weekly trading zones. Why do you avoid trades as you go into a weekly trading zone? Well, the reason is because once we hit a weekly trading zone, we expect the market to consolidate or coil as it makes a decision where it's going to go next. Is it going to continue up to the next zone, or is it going to retreat back to the zone it just came from? Okay, and so if we're like 1 point away from the zone and the 4-tick range chart gives us a long, well, we don't have 2 points between the entry and the zone, so we want to skip that. Okay, now once price gets on the other side, we're willing to go long, and the same thing is coming down. If we don't have at least 2 points room to run on a short trade, we're not going to take a short into the zone because we expect it to consolidate and potentially return to the zone from whence it came. If there's 2 points room to run, we'll take it. Once we pop out the other side, and right here is a perfect example of where price does that, and then it does that, and then it does that. Okay? That same little pattern over and over. Learn that because you'll use that all the days of your trading. Now, we blew through this support. Okay? Let's go look at a smaller time frame. Let's see if there was any bounce at all. When you don't get any bounce at all at a obvious area of support, something's up. That's unusual. That's out of the ordinary. Okay. Let's drop a zone here. 16. Well, this isn't a zone, so I don't want to drop a zone. I just need to put a line. 1604. Okay. You see that? We just blew through that thing, man, even on a smaller time frame. Something's up, okay? Now, we do have a zone below us, and if you're a partner, you already know where the zone is. I'll just put it up here for the benefit of everybody else since we're talking about it right now. There's 1601, 1602. Now see, we don't want to short. We don't want to take, if the 4-tick range gives us a short trade, let me show you. 4-tick range gives us a short trade right here. We don't want to take this short trade because, well, let's see where the entry is, but it's still cutting it really close. Remember, if there's not at least 2 points of room to run, we avoid that trade. So 1601, I'm putting my zones on right now on the 4-tick range chart. 1601, 1602, okay. Now see what price is doing? Come right down. It's pulling right back up to the BBC. We've got bearish divergence. Everything is picture perfect for this trade. We had the bearish cross way up here. Price pulled away. Price is pulling back. This next candle is going to be the first close below the trend line. We didn't pull all the way back. So this would, if you take this trade, it's based on what's called a momentum trade. All right. You don't have to take this trade. In fact, I wouldn't take the trade because the zone's right here. See, we expect this to act as support until proven otherwise. That's the nature of zones. Now, once price does this, let's say price comes on down and goes like this and like this, and then price pulls back up to the zone like that, and then it starts to go like this. Coming out of the zone, we'll short that thing because we've got all the way down to the next zone room to run. But right here, we don't have room to run because we expect this to be an area of good support. No, Michael, I spoke to them live on the phone. I don't know if you're listening in or not. I see your text. I spoke to them already. Okay, I was just sending Michael a message. So see what I'm saying? We don't want to short here because of the zone. But if we get through the zone, we pull back up to it, now we're ready to short all the way down to the next zone. Okay? But again, we expect a weekly trading zone. If we're coming down into the zone, we expect it to be support. And if we're rallying up into a zone, we expect it to be resistance. That's what made this so unusual yesterday. We got short stopped before we got to this zone. And the market appeared to have made up its mind that it was heading north, but there was a force that held it down. It couldn't get through there. And then today, it put in a lower high. Draw a trend line. See the downsloping angle there? There's a high that doesn't make it all the way, and then we put in a lower high. Okay, there's definitely a bearish influence in the market right now. Market's heavy. Now look how we've bounced out of the zone. So far, we'll go to a smaller time frame to see how much we've bounced so far. Let's get rid of all these little hash marks. I gotta get a new battery. Now, you hear me talking about a battery for my wireless mouse. Guys, you really shouldn't use a wireless mouse when you're trading because it can go out on you. You really should be hardwired in. Don't trade on a wireless connection. Be hardwired in with Cat5 cable and make sure it's Cat5 or better. And hardwire your mouse in and your keyboard. I know I'm violating my own rules here, but it's because of the nature of how I have to set things up for the radio broadcast. I can't have yet one more cable or two more cables draped across everything. So that's why I'm using wireless. So what your parents used to say, don't do as I do, do as I say do. There you go. So, all right, price came down, hit the zone at 1601, and so far it's bounced all the way up to 1603.75. So we've got almost a 4-point bounce so far. Now look here at the black line. The black line's about to get pulled up into the green line. That would negate the trade anyway. But there's no short trade here because of the zone. Now Steve, I went way around the mountain to answer your very simple question. I hope I managed to answer it without confusing you. RG says, how do you get that upline? Tell me which upline you're talking about. Upline. I know you're not talking about the trend line. Are you talking about the daily divider? This one? Is that the one you're talking about? Oh, bye, Barb. Again, guys, I really encourage you to download that toolbar. It puts a lot of stuff right at your fingertips. Very convenient, okay? And I'm going to be adding some new features to it here as time permits over the next week or two. Oh, you're very welcome, Susan. Okay, great, Steve. I'm sure glad that helped. RG, tell me which line is this the line right here? This, when you say up line, is that the one? I'm guessing it is. Okay. So we've had a nice bounce here from 1601 all the way up to 1604. So we had a 4-point bounce. Now we've got to see what's going to happen. Is 1601, 1602 going to hold? If it doesn't hold, then the next zone on the downside is like 14 points away at 1587/88. It's the next zone on the downside, 1587/88. Okay. If the zone holds, all right, then here's what I'm going to do, and I'll send out a tweet. If price moves back above 1605, and it does that, and then it does that, and then it starts to do that, then I'm going to say consider being long above 1607. Yep. That'll be the tweet that goes out. Consider being long. In fact, I could put that tweet out right now. I don't have to wait for it to get back above 05. Just plain and simple, I want to be long above 1607 for a test of the zone here 7 points away at 1614. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, Michael. That's what the call was. Okay. It's all good. Okay, any more questions, guys? I'll be happy to answer them. Steve, Susan, Barb, all you guys, thanks for your kind comments. I really do appreciate them. If you don't have anything else, then I'm going to go ahead and take off. I'll leave the hourly chart running. Hopefully you guys all have your own charts. If you're on the free trial and you've not downloaded the platform yet, goodness gracious, get going. Okay, that's part of your free trial, and it really won't all start to make sense until you've actually got that platform running, the indicators indicating. And as all these things you hear Michael and I talk about, and we show you these things, when it actually starts to happen on your desktop, that's when you go, wow, that really is neat. Not only is it neat or cool or clever, but I can use that to build a business. I can use that to create income. I can use that to carve out my future, to navigate these markets, which are huge and often unforgiving. Okay? And along with that, you get a sense of community. So that when you do have a question or problem, or, honestly, some days you need a shoulder to cry on, we do that too. We have an app for that. It's called Dwayne and Michael. So feel free to download it today. All right, we're pushing back down to 1601. I really would like to know, oh, did I see Dudley when we were just looking at the, Dudley's going to talk today. We better go look at that again. Daily economic reports. Remember, Dudley moved the markets the other day. I wonder if he's being groomed for Bernanke's job. He's talked twice in a couple days, or in a week. 12:30 Eastern, FOMC member Dudley speaks. Well, that's old news at this point because it's already 11:30, 12:30. It's already 2:30. Maybe someone's interpretation of what he said. Maybe there was an article written that put a little fear in the market. Yeah, I don't have, well, let's do this. Let's go to Google and we'll look at Dudley's comments. For Feds, Dudley falls flat in Queens. Oh, that was for March 11th. No, we need today. 5 days ago, May 21st. All right, let's click on news. See, they're still quoting June 27th. I don't see any articles about what Dudley had to say today. So that may explain it once we get some news on what he said. Okay, so watch 1601, 1602 as we move into the final couple hours of trading today. If we hold above 1601, 1602, now this area of support, let's do this. I'm going to try to make it really clear. We're going to go to, well, let's look at daily for a minute. I'm going to end up switching this out. Yeah, let's go to the hourly. Okay. Now I've got to use this tool because okay. Oh, stop. There we go. $16.04. Here, let me just do it the easy way. Oh, I can't put in a price there. All right. 1604, 1606. Getting tired. Let's do this. $16.04 to $16.06. So we can see how the market bounced and bounced, and it came through. Gave us a couple more moves to the upside. Gave us all these moves to the upside, a bounce, another bounce. Now we're breaking through it, okay? We're hitting this zone at 0102. Now because this was good support, 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 we now have the opportunity for it to become resistance. You'll notice it became resistance here, but we spiked above it quite handily, all right? This time we got above it, pulled back, it again became support, ran us up, ran us up, ran us up. So let's see what happens as we get to 0405. I'm not going to trade long from 01 to 04. I want to see price either get above, in fact, this will be my final thing unless you guys have questions. 1607. let's go here. Now, when you guys become a partner, you know, I'm gonna do my very best to teach you how to do this, so you don't ever need me to do it for you. Okay? You're not gonna learn overnight. It takes time, but that's my goal. Okay? Consider being long above 1607 or short below. Let's go find our number. Okay. We know that we got a zone at 0102. So I'm going to go 59. That gives me a couple of points below the zone. Let's see, 1601, 1601. Yeah, so I want to go 1599. Okay, there's 1599. I don't have anything in my way all the way down to 92. The next zone down is 87. Yeah, I like that. And if you want a little more cushion, make it 98 because you got plenty of room to run. Okay? So let's just do that. So we're going to consider being long above 1607 or short below 1598, whichever presents first. Consider being long above 1607 or short below 1598, whichever presents first. Now that just went out for all the world, and it'll show up on the Twitter page, and we'll be good to go. All right, let me see if there's any more questions. I'll put the numbers up here just so you've got them. $16.07. And 1598. Above 1607, we want to be long, and we know that the obstacle to our trade is at the weekly zone. I should put that on the chart for you here. Weekly zones at 14, 15. Okay, and then on the downside, we've got a weekly zone at 87, 88. It's way down there. Now, before we get down to this zone, oh no, come back. There you go. All right, there's the zone overhead. There's the zone below. 1607 triggers us on the long side. 98 triggers us on the short side. But before we get down to this zone, okay, this is if you're thinking about targets, you got to look left here. Okay, this is 1590. I'm going to go 94. Just, again, to play it safe. All right. Let me write obstacle on that line so that you know what it is. If we get triggered into a short trade, our target, of course, is the weekly zone down at 87.88. Okay? But before we can get to 87.88, we've got to take out this swing low, which is pretty important. I mean, there was some great support there. Buyers came in here, ran it up, and then when it got back down here, they came in again and ran it up again. Okay? So we've got to believe that as price gets into this area, buyers will at least step in and try to run it up. Maybe they're successful, maybe they're not. But from 98 to 94, that's 4 points, room to run right there. That's the spot where you're able to get your 2 points. Okay. If we break out here above 07, okay, there's 7 points, room to run up to 14. This little minor area right here at 09.75, I hate to clutter the chart up too much, but in all fairness, I want you to see it. Okay? Let me open this thing up. All right, there we go. Oh, that was a little too much. All right. Now, take a look at this. See this high right here? Okay. Price got down here, it bounced, it opened here, it made a feeble attempt to go higher, okay? But it made an attempt. Now what's the price? 1609.75. Let's write that down so we don't forget. 1609.75. If you get triggered in at 1607, you've got 2 3/4 points before you have any inkling of any kind of resistance. Okay? That doesn't mean sellers can't swoop in before then. They can do anything they want. But what we're doing is we're laying out high probabilities, okay? There's nothing to mess. If you get triggered in at 07, there's nothing to mess with your trade to 09.75. And because of the nature of this candle, the way it was built, see, it closed here and opened here. It went up 1 tick and then just the bottom fell out. So I don't take that as if there was a huge wick right here, I would have much more concern about this being an obstacle to the trade. But guess what? Even if it is an obstacle, it's okay, because from 1607 to 1609.75, that's enough room for you to get your 2 points. Right? Okay. Down here, you get triggered in at 98. This obstacle is at 15.94. Now we call it 94, but the actual swing low was 93 1/4. But see, I want to put a little safety cushion in there. So let's just obstacle. $15.94. Okay. All right. Is everybody good? Anybody have any questions on anything at all? All right. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.